Well, my guess is we had about 100 people maybe crammed in here. So we have Mr. Walz, so stand by.
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys again for doing this. This is a great service. It is an awesome service. It is public service.
It really is.
Furthering the democracy.
All right. We'll get a little light on you there. So,
All right.
okay. First tell me, how do you think the debate went here? Was it a little bit different format, a lot of short answers?
Well, I think it was fabulous. I want to thank all the sponsors, and of course, League of Women Voters always do this well. This is how democracy should look, and this is how a civil debate should go about, and questions from the public. Just a fantastic event, and I think in that hour it was pretty telling that there's differences, and that's what you want to see.
There was a lot of talk about bipartisanship by Mr. Hagedorn. What does bipartisanship really look like? Can you give me some examples?
Yeah, and I'll pass along the study. The Lugar Institute at Georgetown University did that. It's more than just the voting. A lot of those votes are gotcha votes. They're not going anywhere. They're political votes. It goes to, are you sponsoring legislation with someone from the other party? Are you passing that legislation? And then how are you talking about it in public, about the other side? I think bipartisanship starts with the recognition that you love your country as much as I do, that your ideas are as valid as mine, and that we represent different constituencies. And bipartisanship starts with that level of respect and an understanding that we need to move things forward. And I'm very proud to be the fourth most bipartisan member of the House and Senate combined. And I think that says something about the people of southern Minnesota, because that's who they want to elect. They want to elect someone who is not partisan, someone who's willing to find solutions. And like I said, I will not make apologies for making sure more people get insurance. I will not make apologies to make sure the big banks don't destroy our economy again. If you choose not to join in that's not partisanship. That's just good policy making.
Well, let me ask you about a very bipartisan vote we just had in the last week, which was, of course, on the 9/11 bill. And that was bipartisan, passed in the Senate by a huge amount, passed in the House by a pretty large margin as well. You supported it, yet there's a lot of buyer's remorse that we're hearing from people. Do you think the bill needs to be fixed, and what are your thoughts on overriding President Obama's veto?
Well, first of all, I think every piece of legislation is always open to revision. I think this idea that you can't make changes, that's the problem with the ACA. Parts of it are working well, parts of it are not. That's clear. Like every piece of legislation. Parts of Medicare worked when we started, parts didn't. And so I think that's clear. My take on this is that I have, since I've been in Congress, I have felt that the cooperation from a supposed ally in Saudi Arabia has been suspect. I've said that publicly, and I understand that when a member of Congress speaks on that, you have to be careful. But I have just never felt that we were getting true collaboration, true cooperation on that. With that being said, I don't dismiss the president's concerns. I do not dismiss those concerns that American citizens could be put up with that. But I have to tell you, I've met in my office with these survivors of 9/11. There's information out there that they want to get. It took us 6 years. No, it took us longer than that. It took us about 10 years to get the report that was redacted released to those families so that they could see what happened. So again, I would say this: yes, every piece of legislation should be looked at. Every piece should be revised. If this sends a strong message to the Saudis that they weren't getting before, and they're willing to step up and start to address some of these issues, I'm more than willing to revisit that.
Okay. Do you think it needs any revisions now, or it's okay as it is?
I think as now it's doing what it needs to do. But again, as I said, the response will come, and I think we learn more every day. I think the biggest problem in Washington right now is this inability to recognize that all legislation needs maintenance. Just like a car. When it comes out, you're going to have to do things to it. This piece of legislation may be there, but I can tell you that piece of legislation was not taken lightly. It's not that we did not think through all these things. It came out of a frustration and to be quite honestly, kind of fed up with the lack of collaboration with our supposed ally.
Anything else that you wanted to talk about tonight or add that you didn't get a chance to during the debate?
No, I just think you heard it here, and I think this idea of how we solve problems, it's not for the lack of ideas. One person's not going to go to Congress with all the ideas to fix things. This is a big country with a lot of smart people. The real skill in getting things done, both in Congress and I would say in anything, is a bipartisan collaborative effort. And I stress 3 issues we did in this room: train safety, flooding, and the Winona Bridge. Those are all things that work the way democracy is supposed to work. Citizen engagement, revisions, working towards it to get a common good. And I think that's the message I'm sending.
Okay. Congressman, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
This is a beautiful room.
It is. It is.
You want me or not? You got everything you need?
I think I've got everything I need.
I wasn't recording on most of it here, so I got it.